Spinning. Welcome, everyone, to Myth Informed. I was just talking about our chairs. What a lot of people don't know about our chairs, actually, are these are barber's chairs. So, you know, when you go and get your hair cut, and they put you in the chair, and they put the these are those chairs.
We've done a fundraiser on these chairs where, we just get shaved.
They're Jesus.
Full body shaving.
Yeah,
it's gone live.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about your full body shaving. Thanks everyone for joining us. I'm Sean. This is Fritz. And
Joakim Noah, sorry.
And today we're gonna do a little better Discourse Roundup. So we just had our event in Milwaukee during the DNC, which didn't show up. So we're gonna talk about that, and we have joining us
special guest. You heard it here first.
This desk isn't high quality either, so you can't smash on it.
No, we can't. This is like Eric Andre's table.
Really,
at about mid-show, I'm just gonna smash it.
You're just gonna break it. We have Smashton Lee joining us, the funniest man you've never heard of, Smashton. How's it going?
A.K.A. Gordon Hayward. Gordon, how are you doing this podcast here while you're recovering from an ankle sprain during the bubble?
What's going on, boys? Thanks for having me on. You know what? Honestly, ankle's fine. Faked to get on the podcast. Appreciate the invite.
I know, for sure. I mean, I obviously, tore my Achilles, so the two of us are taking a little break. Ankle sprain, torn Achilles. We are going to dominate Rucker Park. I just need a little bit more time to be able to walk.
Wait, Joakim Noah, he's not in the league anymore, is he?
Oh, yeah, he got picked up for another 10-day contract. Come on, get with the times. Come on. Well, why do we have him on the show?
I just remember his bone on bone in his knee. That was what was going on. Yeah.
Terrifying.
Dude,
that's a tough one.
So how'd you like
I don't even remember.
So how'd you like Milwaukee this time? Was it a better experience than the last time?
Yeah, for sure, actually. So to give that whole thing a frame of reference, this would be my third event, I believe. Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Our third event, but we've hung out together 4 events though now, starting at Reason Rally. So this is the 4th time we've hung out.
Oh wait,
and we legit hung out ton on Reason Rally. So this is a long relationship here now.
This is a blossoming relationship. We're almost common law married, buddy. Get involved.
Get involved.
Honestly, this one was great. I was actually putting some thought into that before coming on. And I'll say this, awesome time, great event. But to be fair, the biggest thing I've had to look forward to is meeting my Uber driver downstairs with my McDonald's order at 2 p.m. in the afternoon because I'm a slob. Yeah. So it was absolutely better than that.
Yeah.
But it was great. I mean, what did you guys, how did you think? Obviously, I got to see the sort of duck above the water and not the legs kicking below there. So how was it on the other side of it?
I personally think that conversation-wise, this was overall the best panels when you look at the entire show that we've ever had. We've had definitely, bigger venues, bigger audience, bigger threats. There were actually no threats on the day of this time, which is actually a nice change. But conversation-wise, I think this was overall the best, and I'm glad that people are realizing that because some of our guests not only want to continue working with us, but now they're going to actually assist us in also being able to bring up more progressives. So I think that's great. That's a win for us.
Yeah,
I would say. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, as I say, I enjoyed it. I think a lot of people really had a good time. The team worked really well together. But it was interesting, though, kind of seeing how much people needed this. Like you were saying, like the only people you've seen has been your Uber driver. Like so many people have been so like stuck at home, not being able to like come together. I remember at one point you were literally screaming in my mouth without a mask on, and you're coming from one of the biggest
hotbed,
and you're just screaming in my mouth.
Share the. I've been outed.
Share the
COVID as a coronavirus truther.
Share the COVID. I'm totally cool with it, man.
No. But I think
build up the immune system.
It was a much needed release, and it also showcased kind of the absurdities around the mandates because when you're in a bar and you're drinking or if you're eating, how are you supposed to wear a mask? I don't
know if you guys want to get into this.
Let's get into it.
obviously someone pseudo popular on Twitter had an opinion about your masks during lunchtime. Do you want to get into that?
Oh yeah, we can. Who are you talking about? There's a lot of people that have opinions about us that we don't like.
It starts with a T and ends with a Dillahunty.
Matt Dillahunty. Yeah,
I don't know what his name is. I actually don't even know him. I know that he was at that Pabst Theater thing. That's all I know.
Demonetized already, calling him Matt Dillahunty. Well, he advocated for pedophilia in a recent podcast, so that was interesting.
Oof. Wow, Sean just went right for the jugular.
I just went right at him.
We're making fun of his name.
I just went right. That's the thing, though. Like, yeah, you guys had a picture, and you weren't wearing masks outside. First of all, that is a part of the mandate when you're at a bar and you're outside. You don't have to have a mask on.
Well,
That's the
actually,
mandate.
Technically, if it's a non-family member, you have to. But that was family. We're all family here at the Better Discourse event.
Is
so
that? I don't.
Wait.
If you're at the same table, you don't have to wear a mask.
Well, if you're eating, that's kind of how you get around. You can't eat through the mask, But they were, stopping for a picture, which means they weren't eating for that moment. But we're family, So we're
okay.
cool.
Okay. So let's think about that logically. Yeah. Let's think about that. So while they're eating, they don't have a mask on, right? But as soon as they stop eating, you got to put the mask on, otherwise COVID.
Yeah, this is how it goes.
Okay.
Hey, man, what's going? Hey, you got to put on your mask. All right, let me get my drink in my mouth. Hey, we're cool.
Right, exactly.
We're good to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, besides that, detractor, obviously a lot of good stuff happened from that. A lot of good of the event and the speakers. Like I said, the way that I would approach it is I had no clue. And we were joking earlier about how I came for the beers, I stayed for the friendship, and I got caught up in the SJW. This is not something that I'm super passionate about. Everyone's got different things.
Yeah.
As you saw in this most recent panel, I mean, we've watched this basically evolve, right, from more of an atheist-centric conference and things like that down to now it's just debating almost anything. So I think that's been cool for me to watch because this last one, I feel like anyone could have showed up and attended that. Before, you had to be very specific.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, even if you identify as an atheist, which I may or may not, whatever, it's just kind of like, I'm not so militant about it. And plus, my thing is like, we already won. It's over. Like, what are we doing now?
Yeah. So coming from a pop culture genius and a normie coming into these events, I mean, seems like you've kind of grown a little bit into what we're doing. It's like it had to grow on you because you've definitely been pretty critical in terms of like, this isn't my thing. And, you definitely have some strong opinions.
You hated it originally.
That's probably fair.
You're like, why am I coming to this?
This isn't my thing. Who are these people? They don't know me. I'm the man.
Yeah, exactly. I said, hey, we're the tall boys. Yeah, this place is fine.
And I always bring up the story. I'm going to bring it up live now. When I was at the Reason Rally and we were sitting there with all these like, quasi wannabe celebrities and some celebrities, Bill Nye was there, for example, is just one of the big names. The person that I gravitated to immediately was this guy. So how do you do it? How do you do it? I mean, you're sitting right now in your rap video studio right now while you're doing this. How do you do it?
It's P. Diddy's basement. How do I do it? What a question. I don't know. Honestly, in that one, it is almost like the cooler you are, like the less you care, the cooler you become, right? I mean, it might as well have been the Marlboro Man smoking a cigarette against the wall somewhere. You just want to hang out with the guy.
Yeah, for sure.
On top of a camel. Yeah.
Totally. And for a frame of reference, this man right now is wearing the coolest Pabst T-shirt I've ever seen in my life. The man is not from Milwaukee or from Wisconsin, but this guy rocks the Pabst. Speaking of the Pabst, I'm going to throw some shade right now in the Nomad. Can we bring the prefix back? All right? Can we bring the prefix back? For those locals right now.
What's the prefix?
The prefix was a shot of Jameson. It was a can of PBR, and it was a single Lucy cigarette for $5. The best deal in America. I mean, you were even talking about it. I mean, you're like, in New York, this would be like $15.
I mean, honestly, I think that the answer here, and this is not a slight bit of sarcasm or hyperbole. I mean, that's the stimulus package America wants.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, $5 for a shot, a beer, and a cigarette, that's a full day for me.
I know. I'm pretty offended right now. I mean, we had, a city ordinance, you couldn't sell a Lucy. I mean, it's hurt the prefix stock.
But, I mean, here's the thing. We can get around ordinances all types of ways, right? I'm going to do hashtag local political cause here. Let's get nuts about it.
Yeah.
Why don't you just buy the beer and the shot? The cigarette just happens to be on top of the can.
Do it.
I don't know how it got there.
Do it right now.
But I will say this, as a non-local, if anyone local is listening, get over to the Nomad. A+ spot, 2 to 4 years. Been involved in that great spot. Daytime, nighttime stuff. Got a great outdoor scene. Yeah. More importantly, just the beer flows like beer, which it should.
Yeah, the Nomad is on the east side. It's technically a soccer bar, right?
Yep, it's a soccer bar.
Technically.
First time you were there, we saw an SUV just blow up on fire. That was a pretty cool little after party event.
It was hard to go up from there in terms of just absolute chaos.
It's Milwaukee. It's Milwaukee. Welcome to Milwaukee.
I had a few prefixes, was feeling amazing. All of a sudden, car fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right on Brady.
All right. Trying to diplomatically not say a joke here, so I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah, well, it's funny to me. Like, when you think about social distancing and all this, like, if you traveled to downtown Milwaukee, and I'm sure it's like this in a lot of cities, the Nomad's a good example. There's, like, people literally on top of one another. So what are we doing? Like, which way is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the table rule. People weren't like crazy on top of each other. That being said, we were there during the middle of the day, grabbing lunch. But
go on the weekend.
I mean, I can speak for New York.
Yeah, well, okay. So now that you brought up New York, as a West Coast or not as a coastal elite, as yourself, you're moving in from New York, moving out of New York, total coastal elite over here. That's why we have you. And now you're moving to L.A. What is the upside to L.A. right now when everyone's getting out of L.A.?
I mean, I'm looking to scoop up Elon Musk's house at a premium.
For sure. For sure. He's about to sell it. I mean, it's on the market.
I mean, for sure. I guess that guy's moving down to do another Joe Rogan podcast or something. I mean, what's going on with
here's the thing. I think there's probably some laws in L.A. that if you squat on the property long enough, you might just be able to get it. You'd be like, hey, I've been here the whole time.
So wait.
Kick me out.
I wonder if that's pretty funny, actually, if you think about it. Like squatters rules in California. Yeah, what if you squatted on Elon Musk's mansion?
You could take it.
I'm pretty sure they would kick your ass out.
I mean, I'm sure there's probably, if such a rule existed, I'm certain it'd be a line or something, trying to get in line or something.
No, that is a rule, though. If I think it's California, right, Brian? Brian's in the background. Look up squatters rules. We're going to treat Brian as the intern.
We're going to
look up squatters
rules. And then just let this be a warning, Elon. You better not leave home for like 3 days because it's mine.
Seriously, I mean, that's actually a thing that I'm very familiar with. I mean, in Nicaragua, when families were leaving like ours during the war, if we didn't have family that would be able to, give the house over so that they could stay in it and watch it, squatters could have taken it, and we'd come back after the war and be like, hey, we want our house back. Be like, no, squatters rules. And
that was a rule?
Oh, my gosh. We've actually, my family has lost property along the coast on the Caribbean Atlantic side that was in my family for many years because they started building actually with like concrete along the coast in downtown, the largest city on the East Coast, Bluefields. We just lost it. We couldn't get any money for it. We couldn't kick them out.
Sounds like a case for reparations. Brian has a.
I'm going to be Jamie here.
Oh yeah, Jamie. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you, Jamie.
Okay. This is according to the LA Times. In California, a squatter, that is a person who occupies land without the right to do so, can gain possession of someone else's property.
That's right.
By openly occupying it for at least 5 years.
That's right.
Without interruption, acting in the way a true owner would. In that situation, it means attending board meetings and paying dues and all that stuff.
All right, Smashton, tweet that out right now. Say I'm squatting on Elon Musk.
We got time, Smashton.
It's going to be 5 years on that.
There you go.
And you're going to have to pay the property taxes.
Oh, you have to pay.
Well, yeah, all the dues, everything. Yeah, you have to care for it as the owner would.
Okay.
That's going to be a problem.
That's going to be a problem.
You pay enough, and look, here's this is simple, right? The money you're paying in exorbitant amounts of rent in LA, just put it in property taxes on Elon Musk's property. You could at least get the driveway, maybe the car that's parked on it if it's left there long enough.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Smashton cannot afford the property taxes on Elon Musk's house for a week.
You know, if you own if you own the driveway, you might all be able to control who comes in or who comes out. I mean, that's a key real estate property right there.
Sorry, guys.
See, Fritz has taken the Sun Tzu art of war approach to this thing.
Right,
give me pinching them to death here.
Can you
know what I mean?
grab my phone from downstairs?
So Smashton.
It's on the table.
What's up, bud?
How long till Smashton gets canceled and then we bring him on the show and we bring him at the next conference?
Yes.
That's a great question. I actually had one for you, so I'm going to defer like a true hero would. And I'm going to actually say, I want to flip this on you guys for a second. You threw something out, and we'll let everyone know listening, all the millions of viewers around the world. Listen, right, that the fact is, when you sent the text message and said, let's get you on, what did you think? Did you think I was just going to, I folded, just for everyone listening, I folded immediately. It was 4 seconds, and then I'll be honest with you, the text message could have came last night saying, hey, get on here in 5 minutes, and I would have just installed whatever I had to. So did you really think I was just going to say yes in that text message, or what did you think?
I did not think he would say yes.
Do it. But the fact that you said yes, it was like a no-brainer.
iPad.
It wasn't like, uh-oh, what did we get into? It's like, holy hell, we got him here first. Smashton Lee, you heard it first.
He might not even existed before that. He's a living legend.
Living legend. No, I didn't think you were going to say yes, but I'm glad you did. We got a super chat from Miles. Miles was at the event. Hey, guys, had a great time at the event. Worth the trip. Look forward to the next one. Yeah, we are doing some interesting ideas. Now that we have the China virus in America. Sorry, Smashton, it might trigger you a little bit.
It might be both a golden opportunity and another headache.
We have the China virus we're dealing with. People are not as confident in going to these events, which is completely understandable. We're working on some type of innovations for the next one, so it's going to be interesting. We'll have news soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Guys, it's going to all be over come November, so just plan after that.
We hope so.
Hey, did you see the rock?
Right, exactly.
Did you see?
Gets counted?
Depends on who's in.
Did you see the rock concert in Wuhan tonight, or was that last night, Bri? Was it
a rock concert? Weren't they in like a pool?
A few days ago.
Party concert.
There was a giant concert.
They
they got it.
They don't care.
Yeah.
The answer, it turns out, was just people in water. You weren't even thinking about that.
No, so I will add, on a serious, super chat question here, because we've actually seen a huge amount of positive reviews for this, individuals that weren't on stage that actually have reached out saying they wish they found out earlier. More, it's probably more they wish they checked their email and then responded sooner. Do want to be on. I think we do have a lot of energy and a lot of interest, more so now because of how much hype there has been so far, and because the videos are coming out shortly. I think it's going to even blow up even more over the next week. So we may potentially look at something maybe 6 months down the road. I'm not putting that in stone. It typically takes a ton of time and a ton of efforts just to get a yearly.
Wait,
event
did you
going.
say 6 months down the road? I have plans for like a lot sooner than that.
Okay, well there you go. So speaking of
6 months down the road.
So speaking of how much time it takes to do this,
the world would be on fire.
I mean, the fact that we're even looking at something like this is kind of one of those things where I have to look and say, okay.
Well,
I
think
doing this. Let's go. It's going to take a lot of work.
I think the beauty of this whole thing is that we're bringing in personalities that people relate to. That's why I have Smashton on tonight. He's hilarious. You never heard of him. It doesn't matter. Like, I think people are starting to get sick of like the mainstream,
subscribe,
mainstream
hit that button.
Media, mainstream academics, mainstream. These people that you listen to them. Normal person listen to them. They gloss over. The people we had on stage, we had some professionals. We had some very accredited professionals, but we also had Joe Everyman. Like, I love how Mike Harlow was on stage.
He came in and said, I don't know why I'm here. I'm just the everyday guy. I'm just going to speak for the average person. I was like, awesome.
Yes.
Smashton Lee would be on stage, too.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Only. No, but, who asked the super chat question?
Miles. Yeah, Miles.
Miles, love it, bud. I'm sure I saw you out there. Fantastic time. Follow up, though. You guys there's all sorts of news being let out. Hot off the presses. Less than 6 months. We're doing another one. You know what I mean? But it's like, location, what are we doing for locale? 6 months is wintertime, boys. Milwaukee's not as fun.
Well, but here's Smashton. Oh, you froze for a second. Here's the thing. no one's traveling anyway, so it's going to be an interesting hybrid.
And we typically do our events indoors, so
It's a tough one. We can do an outdoor one at the Nomad. If they're listening.
Well,
it's more of a welcome from them after we've got the prefix back on the menu.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, that's the funny thing, though. I mean, like, and you're in New York, we're in Milwaukee. You might not be in New York long, but winter's coming. And this whole sitting outside without masks on and being able to do stuff outside, that's not going to happen anymore. Having your doors wide open, if you're getting a haircut or whatever, like the gym has the door, it's not going to happen. Like, we're going to have to get tough real soon.
I mean, to be fair, though, like, this is why I think the Northeast is doing better than the South. And this is just complete nonsense, not a real fact at all. Fact check this one. We're just used to quarantining, right? I mean, half the year I can't go outside. I don't want to go outside. 5 degrees out, freezing rain. Yeah, let's get out there.
Yeah.
Come on, let's have some fun.
Well, I'll tell you this. The next stimulus package might be for paying all of the heating bills because we're going to have those doors wide open in the middle of winter. Hey. We need a stimulus. We need to pay that energy bill.
Yeah, Trump, get on that. We need to literally heat the outside over winter.
Guys, they've been planning for this. It's called global warming. Come on, big brain. 500 IQ play right there.
That's good. But that global warming also makes it extremely cold too,
You're
right?
on the same IQ level. You're same IQ.
Global warming means you have extreme cold and extreme hot, right? Is that how it?
Sure.
Yeah, it's just more fluctuation.
Facts in a way.
Yeah, it's more erratic. Temperature changes.
Yeah. So no, it's gonna get real interesting soon. Very interesting. Like, and I feel bad for the businesses. I mean, that's like we worked with Shank. We worked with that security firm, which are awesome. We worked with the hotel that we had. No one's doing that right now. And that's a scary thing. Shank didn't have an event for 3 months, and they're not going to have another event until sometime next year. They typically have events every weekend.
Yeah, I saw that. That place was awesome. I know we've been propping up the Nomad. Let's prop up Shank's here. Directly off of the Spinal Tap.
That's right.
How long has it been in Milwaukee? Someone hit me with it. 50 years.
Yeah,
it's been over 20 years. A little over 20 years.
It's funny, like seeing.
But that is actually an inside piece of information that a lot of people don't know. Spinal Tap played in the movie at a fictitious place called Shank Hall. And that's why they ended up naming this place Shank Hall. It's a tribute to that movie.
And no one's figured out, like in every panel, you see the miniature. What's that? The Stonehenge. The miniature Stonehenge. It's from you have to really know the movie, but they have the miniature Stonehenge because at one point Spinal Tap was asking for like a set made of like the Stonehenge, and like the whoever was making the set built like this little thing like this, and it was just like this little Stonehenge, and that's the thing they have over their stage. It's pretty funny.
I will say though,
we're too old.
Worried about better discourse at something called Shank Hall, especially.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's why Antifa doesn't show up to Milwaukee, because we have places like Shank Hall. What's going to happen when you show up?
Good luck.
No. Well,
you don't know.
And we actually arrest people. So that's the other thing.
Well, I don't know. The police chief just got removed from his position. We have a new police chief. That just happened in the last couple of weeks. It was pretty much that the fire and whatever commission, police fire commission, and whatever other mob rule was happening didn't agreed with the mob, that they didn't like the way they were handling the protesters.
Is that exactly what happened? It was from the mob.
Protesters / rioters. Well, the proverbial like mob. The Twitter mob, the protesters mob. And they put all these rules that he had to follow. It was like somewhere around like 11 things that he had to adhere to within like a 2-week period. He was set up to fail, and he failed, and he was removed from the position, and now he's retired officially. So maybe he'll go into politics, maybe he won't. But now we have a new police chief. It really, one of the big things that they didn't like, or that they used as an excuse, was the fact that they were using tear gas. Now, interestingly enough, the tear gas that we use in America is so weak compared to the tear gas that they actually use in like other countries. It's like that stuff will actually make you like cry yellow. You'll have
I feel like it's gone progressively downhill in terms of like strength, because a lot of the videos you see and like obviously whatever, Twitter's full of nonsense, whatever, but like you see someone like they're just standing in it like this, like yeah.
Totally. I mean, it's not even the same chemical. I mean, you have tear gas somewhere else. It's like war grade.
I will say
military grade.
I will say this though. I will agree with them in the cases of like compounds, because what happened with Waco and what happens with a lot of these places where you have like people hold up is you do fire in that tear gas and it starts on fire. It starts the whole building on fire, and that's what happened at Waco, where all those people got stuck in the like that area they were hiding in the cooler or whatever, and then they got trapped and the place burned down and they all died. I mean, it's sad.
Did you see that Netflix special on that?
I did actually. They did a really good job on that.
A+.
It was really good.
You know,
they did a good job on that.
I was leaning libertarian. It's fun to think that we can all just do our own thing, which is great, but whatever. Then you get into this and you're like, whoa, leave those people alone. I don't care what's going on in there.
Right.
Yeah, I'm surprised that people that there's still interest to talk about the Branch Davidian and David Koresh. I mean, these are names that I know. I didn't even know there was a show Waco, but I just remember just how ridiculous that event was in my life. It's almost like the Oklahoma City bombing. I mean,
but now let me ask you a question. Since have you learned about the story since, or
what do you mean? Have I learned about? I know about the story. I don't know about the movie.
Okay, I'm saying outside of the media coverage, because we were both alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he thought he was Jesus.
Okay, so what happened?
Essentially, what is it like the tobacco, the alcohol, tobacco, firearms,
ATF.
They were the ATF. I mean, they got involved. I mean, they couldn't get.
Yeah, but why though?
Didn't have to deal with the fact that they were like kind of holding these people in.
No. And see, this is to Trump's point, like we were in the 90s. We grew up in the 90s. I remember
I was also like 10.
I know,
sorry.
I know, but sorry, you're still a victim of fake news.
I don't know if I'm a victim of it. I saw the Hallmark special when I was 11 in the year anniversary. I saw that.
Yeah, fake news. So what actually...
I saw all the kids and everyone, praising him as, Jesus.
So apparently, according to what this documentary says and like some of the literature
fake news. The documentary is real news, though. This is breaking it here.
No,
Tell us.
Actually, it was the book. Go ahead, Smashton. I'll let you get in on this.
No, I just think it's interesting. Let's just get out of the facts of the current scenario and into the fact of we're now relying on documentaries because we have no other way to consume. Like we've reached the limit of consumption.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not going to read a book. We're done.
Oh, I do audiobooks now.
Whatever.
I do audiobooks.
To be fair, though, I mean that book, that documentary was heavily reliant on that FBI's testimony of the situation. He was the guy that was in charge until he was overseeing the ATF. He was working with the ATF, and the ATF just told him fuck off, and they took over. But his account is that they had this. So the ATF had this bungled project. I forgot what situation it was, but they handled it terribly. They were facing being defunded by the government, so they needed a case to showcase their relevance and their ability again. So they find out about this Koresh and Waco. They're really the Koresh and Waco, like, would they have done something over time? Probably, because it's how these freaking cults go. But they weren't doing anything. They were living peacefully. They had their own convent. They weren't doing anything to anyone. The one charge they trumped up on them was the fact that they were buying weapons. And yeah, they had weapons, but that's not illegal. You can buy weapons. Anyone can buy weapons. That's not illegal. So they needed a case to go in. They tried talking with Koresh. And, that whole thing. And Koresh was like, look, we're not doing anything wrong. What do you want? They're like trying to arrest him. And then it escalated from there. And, it was interesting. They cut his communications. They cut his ability to talk to the media. And there actually were some interviews with him where he was saying, look, we haven't done anything wrong. And it was essentially the government versus the small guy, which, it's really, really interesting story. So, yeah, Fritz, the story we were fed as kids, that wasn't the story. They weren't like killing people. They weren't.
I didn't say they were killing.
Oh yeah, but they weren't doing. They didn't have all the weapons they said they had. They weren't doing these terrible things. That was the media. So
it still seems a little bit weird, though. I'll give them that.
Oh, he's super weird.
Oh, totally weird.
Oh, he's super weird.
Yeah, but you can't. You shouldn't be.
You
going
can't
to
kill
jail
someone
for being weird,
right? You can't kill someone for being weird.
Yeah. And speaking of firearms, I mean, hopefully they don't come knocking on my door. But I mean, when February happened and I saw just the country just kind of going to hell. I mean, I became a gun owner. I became one of those 2 million brand new gun owners in like the last month. I didn't read that news article to say, oh, I want to be a part of these 2 million. I got in on the front end when I went back in a month later to ask questions about, the rules, regulations, another clip. Literally, it was, I guess my best guess, it was maybe 20 yards of distance of just 3 levels of handguns. When I showed up a month later, they were all gone. They didn't have any bullets when I went in there, so I had to order them online. And the only ones left were the Dirty Harry revolver ones, and people were still like, "Let me see that one."
Yeah, but that also it's interesting. And Smashton, you can comment on this because I think you lived through this too. Right when Rodney King happened, it was similar. We just didn't have Twitter and the internet, but it was similar. People went out and bought guns and all that stuff. We just didn't have Twitter. And we didn't have the things that we have now. So
yeah, I
it's probably true. I can't shake the image of Fritz leaving with like the oldest revolver. I mean,
no,
we had left.
I got in before the revolver, dude. The thing would have been way too heavy.
He pulls the trigger and it says bang, and they're like,
a flag comes out. The flag comes out.
It has one of the what are those swords on the end of it? Brian would know. Bayonet. Yeah. It's more effective just to stab people with.
No, I use the Civil War one. That's the only one that was left where I have to put in the little pellet. I gotta pack it down. I had to order the little metal packer online because they didn't have any more.
They saw you coming.
I had to wait.
That's what I pictured you. You just the bottom of the barrel, just like scrounging up for it.
There weren't any more of the little bags, that I have to put in my mouth while I'm packing it. They didn't have any of those, so I had to wait online. It took a while.
That's a tough one now. I know that's tough. Amazon's really slow lately.
I don't even know if do they even make those anymore? You probably, even on a good economy, you probably have to wait because those would probably have to be like personally made in like some sweatshop somewhere.
So Smashton, let's get real here. So what are your views on Black Lives Matter and gun ownership?
Wow, that was
and those two and those two apparently those two come in a package.
Yes,
I didn't package that question up, but he
I just want to give him two
of it up as a package.
Two of the most polarizing topics, and I expect him to answer both in the same sentence.
I disavow. I'm disavowing right now.
Yes.
Yes, and I disavow already.
So how is New York right now? Is it like the creepy ghost town still?
It's a gulag. That's what I read on the fake news.
It's yeah. You know what? I'll say this. It's the sheer the panic that they want to induce. I think is very different outside of New York than it is inside of New York. It's not like some crazy ghost town where there's just dead. But it's not I'm sure we're all familiar with this, The Walking Dead. It's not like that. There's not just loose COVID bodies dangling from fences.
That's what I thought.
We're beating off the rats and all this.
I actually thought the rats are real, though. So come on, stop trying to make New York better than it is. The rats are real. The rats are fighting over for food because there's no more restaurants that are open.
That is okay. So there is a pack of large carnivorous rats that owns much of the Upper West Side.
That's disgusting.
So we don't go up there anymore.
So,
no, in all seriousness, with Sean's question, it's definitely hurting New York. A lot of people leaving the city.
Yeah.
The COVID's been at least under control in New York for quite some time now. Believe it or not, I would say 6 to 8 weeks we've been really low. We're they just keep adding phases though. It's like they're just making them up to make us feel better. Like that little breadcrumb. Just walk 10 more feet off the edge here. We're in phase 5 or 4.
These phases,
something beyond phase 2.
These phases don't make any sense. We covered these phases from the federal government. I don't know what happened to that. Then now the states have their own phases. But I am going to tell you tomorrow. I'm going to clip out you saying COVID is under control in New York. So we'll get that on there. We'll get smashed.
De Blasio this fall.
Hey,
I got a question. How many guys do you have right now pacing back and forth at your front door, making sure that you are quarantining now over the next 2 weeks before they can just give you that $10,000 fine for walking out?
Or are there?
That's a great story too. So actually, here's I want to get into a few of them here. So leaving Milwaukee, right? I was nice enough, had a great friend of mine offer me a hat as a gift, and that hat said Meme War Veteran on it. And it's made to look like it's a Vietnam veteran hat. So I thought it was pretty cool. That's cool. And I'm laying in bed with my girlfriend, and I said, man, I don't know if I feel comfortable wearing this hat because I feel like someone's going to look at it and be like,
thanks for your
this
service.
Is like a real veteran. So I get on a plane. I'm going from Milwaukee to Chicago in what can only be described as a Peter Pan bus with wings on it. 25-second flight. Orville Rittenbach, whatever the hell the guy's name was, that flew the planes, would have been fucking proud of me. Okay, North Carolina, Orville Wright, something.
Orville Redenbacher.
Orville Redenbacher.
Right.
Make some popcorn on that.
Yeah,
on that plane.
that popcorn plane.
The popcorn goes up and comes down, just like the plane. So I'm wearing it backwards, like I am now, traditional Smashton.
Yep.
And I'm in the second to last row. But who's in the row behind me? A very elderly gentleman who's clearly been in a war before, Fritz.
No.
I don't know if you heard that. So I hear him chirping about Vietnam, and I'm poking her going, I told you this is going to happen. So he's all talking about, I'm giving this guy PTSD by wearing a backwards hat in a 35-second flight. So whatever. So he goes out with his day, and I'll share this part of the story too. It made me uncomfortable. I was one of the last people to get off the flight, but he was also on the flight, whatever, and he told me to go ahead of him. But he addressed me as boy. He said, "Hey, boy, go ahead."
Okay.
And I was like, "Damn, I'm not black, but fuck you. I don't know you."
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Like one of those Southern colloquial things.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just super. I was like, I understand it. I was fucking pissed for no reason.
Okay.
Anyways,
Foghorn Leghorn.
Talking about Vietnam, and I'm like, all right, it's just a hat. Take care. And then we land in New York, and we're met by these people that have a police officer hat that looks like it costs less than this one. And they're handing out these pieces of paper. They're trying to do contract tracing, like, here's all this information. Where did you come from? What's your number? What's all of these things?
Wow.
And that is where they send that guy after you to make sure you're quarantining.
Wow. So you expect someone to show up?
I don't know. I mean, Smashton's a celebrity anyways, so people are outside waiting.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have to take a number to check on me.
That's right.
But, we'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe they'll find this podcast and then we'll see what goes on.
Are there actual road checks, all that, checkpoints? That's
a tough one because as a resident of New York City, this is where you got to check my credentials. I don't have a car, and I wouldn't even know what a roadblock looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, because you walk everywhere.
That's a good point.
You walk everywhere in New York, yeah.
Yeah, you just walk. Trains are great. It's like the only area that figured it out.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, one of the things I heard about the what is it, NTA, the transportation agency for New York. I mean, I'd heard that somewhere around maybe like 1% of those employees, maybe that's too high. Even if it's 0.1% of those employees were like dying of COVID early on. I mean, so what was that freaking people out from taking the subway?
I mean, they shut it down for like a little bit, but like, I mean, if you're riding the subway and you're all of a sudden worried about germs, you've been fucking up for a long time.
That is true.
I think that's where the cure for COVID is. You're a subway somewhere.
It's
right.
It's somewhere in there.
You got to get that pizza rat. That'll get the the immune system.
I love how you're leaving one of the dirtiest cities to go to another one of the dirtiest cities because LA's not any better. There's like traces of the bubonic plague there right now.
No, but I can see that glowing orb much more often.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The weather will be amazing.
And you know what I mean? Like I can jump on the Lakers bandwagon, I guess.
Yeah.
Are you going to do it? Are you doing it? Are you doing it, Gordon? Gordon, are you going to sign a 10-day contract with the Lakers?
I'm a Boston Celtics fan through and through.
Okay.
How can all right. So I used to be big into sports, and I just stopped watching because I don't have time.
Let's go into sports.
How can you guys talk about sports anymore? Like, isn't that the weirdest thing to watch? Like people with no audience, isn't that weird?
Yeah, but I mean, if anything, it humbles me. It brings me back to my old play days, back in front of the 14 people that would show up to my JV basketball league.
I know, but all that practice is going to pay off when we go back to Rucker Park.
I'm telling you. I mean, ACL heals up, big guy.
That's what I'm talking about. I was just training way too hard, tore my Achilles. I just got to fight a battle back, Durant style.
I mean, for all of you guys listening, if you've seen White Men Can't Jump, we're doing a remake. You heard it here first.
What?
Woody Allen, buddy. Woody Allen, what's his name? Is that him? That's him, right?
Yeah, it's Woody Allen and Wesley Snipes.
Woody Allen, is it?
No, it wasn't Woody Allen.
I mean, not Woody Allen. Woody
Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes, right?
Yep.
I gotta say that. Hell yeah, that's an all-time. So you want to talk about Black Lives Matter and coming together as a community?
That was it.
That film.
Yeah, I got something.
They would call that
something. Give me a second.
They would call that a white savior movie these days, though.
You think so? I don't know. It was a team effort.
That's true.
You gave up on sports. How do you give up on sports?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I don't know.
You gave up on sports.
I just stopped. I couldn't. Brian's giving me my phone here. Oh, thanks, Bri. I forgot my phone.
Speaking of white saviors, I got Jesus Sotoworth now.
Oh my God, A+ jersey. For those of you on stream here, this is a Ray Allen Jesus Shuttlesworth purple Bucks jersey.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude.
I gotta tell you, can I ask you something? It's a very personal question. What size is that jersey? You've been losing weight, working out a lot. That thing is dangling off you. You look like Michael Jordan when he got sucked into Toonland in fucking Space Jam, bud.
So Smashton, one of the things that I know you were a little concerned about before you came. So we work with a lot of different talent, and we work with a lot of different individuals who some you like, some you might say are controversial. I don't agree. I don't think any of them are controversial. I think no one there was controversial to me. So like when we first announced Milo, I know you were a little you had your shades off. You were a little concerned.
For sure.
What'd you think after?
Shoot, I was concerned.
Yeah. I mean, well, first, yeah. So absolutely captured that correctly, and I agree. I think in your assertion that they're not controversial, but we don't make that decision.
That's right.
Yes, we do.
No, if that wasn't
the public makes that decision.
But I'll say that part of the interest of even going there was sort of like you hear all these stories. It's almost like the boogeyman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You hear all these stories as a kid. Closet under your bed, and it's never really much, but you always want to meet it, just see what's going on. What is this about? And then this guy comes on, rocks it, is everything that they sort of built to be from a charisma standpoint, from just sort of the witty sarcasm. He's almost like a caricature of what I would assume a British person would be.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was entertaining. It really was not that bad. As I thought he was going to be, and I expected maybe some sort of crazy mob riot kind of scenario, because from the inception of this whole thing up to where we were, you can't admit that it wasn't building the sort of level of hostility towards you guys from Pat's Theater to the place in Jersey there.
Philadelphia. Yeah, that's right. The Broadway theater that kicked us out, and then we ended up being at the Sugar House Casino.
No, the brew pub place there.
Pabst.
Oh no, the brew pub place in Jersey.
There it is. Yeah.
Oh, Broadway. Yeah.
That place was good, but I'm just saying, like, there were people there, so I expected maybe Shanks would be, I don't know, Occupy Shanks or something. I didn't know what was going on there, but I'm happy with the way it turned out. Obviously, Sean, you were throwing out a whole bunch of I told you so's, right?
Oh yeah,
definitely.
oh yeah, I was like, yeah. Well, the thing is, because like I understand like how mob craziness works. I mean, even if you look back at the Beatles, like you had a bunch of people all over the world, Japan, America, like they were freaking out over the Beatles, and their music was fucking terrible in the beginning. Like I Want to Hold Your Hand and all this shit. It was garbage music, but people were like freaked out, like, oh my God, because it's like, they're not operating in reality. And I think the more you could showcase, hey, like this is the deal, this is it. And if you shut down these things, if you shut down Milo, you burn down the university and stuff, all you're going to do is keep continuing that false narrative, Like the Beatles obviously eventually got really, really good over time. But yeah, the first, if you go back and listen to the early 60s shit, it's awful. I Want to Hold Your Hand, Love Me Do. It's terrible.
I actually like those songs. I do like Love Me Do, by the way. That is
awful,
a good song.
Awful.
Yeah, no, and for me,
then go listen to like a Revolver and the White Album and all the stuff that came out. Like innovative, groundbreaking, changing music. Like the first shit was candy pop bullshit.
I'll say, what are you listening to these days if it's not the Beatles 60s?
Killers. I'm actually back into the Killers, and I hope Brandon Flowers like figures it out. Like the Killers were so good when they first came out, and like they just like when they had that album where they're trying to do like shitty 80s music. I don't know what that was. But yeah, the Killers, you know, we have like staples like Radiohead and Oasis and stuff like that, but you know, lately,
like 90s rap, do you like that?
No, my wife does. Fritz does.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, that's why immediately I thought "Mo Money, Mo Problems" when I saw your glasses.
Honestly, with that reference, and then saying that you don't like '90s rap followed by sports.
Right? Oh no. I love like Puff Daddy.
Smashton index just
he didn't know who the Wu-Tang was when we brought him in.
Okay, obviously that's not true.
So so for me, the argument, because you know we actually had a long conversation. I mean, it was almost an hour of a conversation, and for me, as we always try to have a conversation, okay? And we've actually moved away on purpose from somebody just, you know, having like a speech. Like, I'm going to give you the platform. We're going to get. It's like a lecture hall. And we've actually tried to move away from that, which is why we want to get, you know, various different types of perspectives. And we don't want to just platform any one individual up there. I mean, granted, if it was, you know, someone outrageous, we'd say, okay, whatever you want, get up on there. But the fact that Destiny was the other side, you know,
Destiny did great.
Destiny did fantastic.
He has to hold a world record for words per minute. Like, seriously.
He was great. He was great.
That was awesome.
He was great. And regardless of whose position, I mean, because many different positions were brought up, that I was like, I like that idea. And what we saw on stage, actually, is that they agreed on more things than they differed. And I think that that's one really important thing that we do is that, you know, if anything, we're trying to also bring in where do we come together? I mean, everyone likes, you know, when there's a little conflict, when there's like, you know, really passionate, you know, differences in opinions. But also, we aren't so different. So what is it that brings us together? How are we connected? What is similar? I think that that's important as well to kill the idea of the boogeyman.
Yeah.
So the fact that Destiny was there, who was actually also known.
And Brandon Strzok was a goddamn
He was
stud.
an amazing moderator.
Yeah.
He did a fantastic job. He came in like a rock star, too.
Unbelievable.
The fact that different ideas, whoever's idea, is going to be challenged, then that's an important point for us. Now, getting progressives has always been a challenge. This may now be a turning point for us because we have new partners and people that, you know, support what we're doing. So we may be able to have an easier time with getting people's trust that we're not just like we don't want people to come to our event and sabotage the event. We want people to come in with an honest, intentions. We also need to build the trust within all communities to let them know, hey, we're trying to be as professional as possible to run the most professional event so that not only the speakers enjoy it, the experience, and help spread the word, but that the audience enjoys it, help spread the word.
To spread the word of unity, because that's what it's all about.
And excitement, too.
I agree. I had that conversation with you about, there was one topic that had to do with the immigration, and I think I definitely inched, if not massively shifted more towards a liberal position on that.
Wow.
And, I forget the gentleman who was speaking on that subject.
Michael Gonzalez.
Yeah. Yeah, it was 3-on-1 up there, and he was unwavering, gave some great data. I mean, you know, it's emotional appeal versus logical appeal, right? And we're able to sort of separate the two, have fun with the emotional stuff, right? Because that's when we get the quote-unquote pepper, we get some of these cool little clips and stuff, right? But at the end of the day, the conversation and the actual facts that get shared, I think that does a lot for a lot of people. And honestly, one of the things that you guys don't talk about enough, and I think I can talk about, I'm basically like the post-party entrepreneur guy on that end of it, is the ability for the people that show up to have a conversation with them, or even just the speakers, extra time to just sort of be yourself. Because Fritz mentioned earlier, we just had a bunch of YouTubers before, and look, I think YouTube's great. Obviously, I'm on it now, or whatever. But I'll say something to the world. Listen to this one right here. You guys don't know how to fucking talk to people. You know how to record something and then start again, and it's not a conversation piece. It's me giving a presentation, right? It's like the way I likened it is basically more of it's a high school book report. Yeah, here's a bunch of stuff I knew about the book. I'm done with it, and then that's it. I didn't learn a damn thing.
Yeah, and I will say a lot of atheists.
Yeah, lectures are terrible.
Maybe this is why you also came from like a jaded point of view from the early experiences that you had with your involvement and participation, I should say, as an audience member in conferences. So many of atheist conferences were just the audience sits, and now let me talk to you about atheism. There was such little opportunities that I saw for actual debate, and we actually started having debates right away with Jesus' resurrection, and the myth of Jesus or not, so. Sure. Even then, within the atheist and Jesus mythicist conversations that we used to do early on in the atheist realm, we tried to have those conversations, and we try to bring differences in perspectives, because if anything, what we're trying to do is also, cast a wide net for potential audience members that might be interested in hearing not only the conversation, but maybe somebody that they're interested in, seeing from their own perspective. I will add this. We've had situations where at the last hour, we've had people drop out, people reconsider, people get outed, people get bullied, like we just did in our most recent event, which is how Destiny got involved. And thank goodness that he did. If it would have gotten to the point where after all of these efforts of us trying to get progressives to come and they don't come or they don't respond or they then drop out for whatever, reasons that it comes across, it is what it is. We made the attempt. We have the receipts. We have the, we can always say, well, we tried. And then if Milo was up there by himself, it is what it is. But we definitely try. And again, I mean, I can't thank Destiny enough for agreeing, because, when he came on, we lost, the other side in that conversation. And he definitely stepped up, and I think he did great. And it definitely contributed to the night. I think it was a great, crescendo to an already fantastic night.
Yeah, I'll follow that guy on Twitch. I'm a big Twitch guy. I love video games, and I almost watch video games more than I play them now. To Sean's point, my time is limited.
Yeah.
So I almost watch them. So I saw him on Twitch there. So yeah, give him a subscribe button on that one. After you subscribe to this one, get on the Noe gang, slap that little bell, get on there.
Yeah, it's funny. I hate lectures. I can't stand it. Like, Smashton, you go to a work event or whatever, someone's giving a PowerPoint. It's the worst thing ever. It's like, yeah, they worked really hard on this PowerPoint or whatever, but like the audience is just like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, can we just, I just feel people don't like, they don't learn that way. Not a lot of people. Some people do.
No, you got to be, human dynamic like me to get this PowerPoint across.
Yeah, exactly.
Charisma
and
living flesh at this point.
There's a way to do it, but typically people don't do it that way, and they're just like, here's the slide, and half the time they're reading off the slide, and it's really, really annoying. So yeah, the conversations are good. Also, it gives people some interesting opportunities. Like Jack, I think a lot of people are blown away by how knowledgeable Jack is, and just, his military career aside, the guy's a fucking he's like an encyclopedia with a lot of shit, especially around China and stuff, and he speaks Mandarin, so it's really cool to kind of see people outside of these elements, and it was really, really fun. But yeah, man, I'm glad you had a good time. We got to drink. Fritz is completely checked out of this conversation now.
Checked out. I'm finding someone. You said Twitch, so
he's back on his Instagram stories.
That's an absolute lie. He's jealous that I have all these friends that are messaging me right now and giving me all these super chats. I'm actually. You said Twitch. And I'm going to find someone that I just recently found out was actually a student of mine back in the day when I was at a charter school. Dude, he's got millions of followers, and I wanna find it because I subscribe to him. I want to know if you know who he is. It's ridiculous. He puts up
that whole platform is weird though, with the just chatting thing.
Yeah.
It's usually just Asian women eating some form of carbs. What I've seen.
What are they eating?
It's uncomfortable. It's it really is. If you click through the just chatting page on Twitch,
yeah,
do it. I don't think you need an account. Just check through there. It's the dregs. It's just uncomfortable.
What are they eating? Isn't this how this whole thing started?
What's that? No, Destiny has a Twitch.
Oh, Destiny. I thought you said Asian chicks eating. So I was like,
no, but I'm saying that is like, I'm telling you, everyone watching here on Twitch, the just chatting is basically just some Korean girl being like an e-girl. Have you heard of the term e-girl?
Yes, I've heard of that term. Let me ask you something, Smashton. So you said something, I let it slide because I still don't understand it. How do you watch someone play video games? Like, I've always wondered, like, what the appeal is. Like, if I'm going to play video games, I'm going to play video games. If I'm going to play sports, I'm going to play sports. Like, how can you just watch someone play video games? How does that work?
I mean, I guess it's probably more entertainment, and then there's the game in the background, and you sort of have this because the advent and the rise of the online experience, which basically every video game you purchase now shoves you into an online community, right?
Yeah.
So video games, for all intents and purposes, are ruined because everyone else that you play games with either is way better than you or way shittier than you. The matchmaking systems are outrageous. So it's just a terrible experience. They release half of video games with DLC content. Now I'm paying $100 for a game that should be $60.
I know.
In 2010.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, now you have a community. You're creating a community. Okay, I've done this. I've experienced this. I've come to this part. Or, I'm a League of Legends guy, so there's certain mechanics that you can watch someone do, but mostly you're just kind of chirping, and it becomes its own little, like almost like a Reddit thread. I mean, there's all these little different nuances that people are saying. Like, I forget, there's like Pepe Chat or Pog Champ. This whole vernacular that you learn just from on this Twitch thing. And then, and Sean, I don't mean to insult you, but I always find the whole "why don't you play it instead of watch it" insulting. It's like, you listen to music, Sean, go fucking play guitar.
That's right.
What do you want me to do here?
No, but typically when I'm listening to music, I'm doing other things. So I'm not like just focused on the music. Like, obviously, unless you smoke
we live in
some
today,
weed
the modern world, Shauna, of quarantine consists of some form of Netflix, Hulu, Twitch, YouTube television, and a cell phone, and whatever else is going on. So the Twitch is like, I would describe Twitch as taking over baseball's position. It's there. It's in the background. It's nice to hear. It's comforting, and I'm not paying attention.
Okay. Well, I know there's a lot of people that like really watch it. Like that's what they do at night is they watch someone playing, World of Warcraft.
Am I ashamed to admit that? I fall asleep watching that.
Hilarious. So I found the guy. So I just recently found out within the last month that this was one of my students in the classroom. Are you familiar with Video Game Donkey?
No, I was hoping you were going to say like Tim the Tap Man or something wild.
So this guy has 6.35 million subscribers on YouTube. It's ridiculous.
On Twitch. What does he do?
On YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube.
Yeah,
what
game does he play?
Oh, I mean, he's like doing like little short videos. He kind of like analyzes videos. He plays it a little bit and kind of gives like a little bit of like a take on it. Like he just 5 hours ago, he uploaded Fall Guys. I don't even know what game that is. And
Fall Guys is great. That's like the new popular one. There's this new thing going on where there's sort of these established monoliths that everyone plays because they have to. Call of Duty, League of Legends is
Halo.
one that's constantly up there if you look at Twitch.
Halo.
And you'll have some sort of flavor of the month RPG or something. And then there's these weird bursts of games that like, I would put Fortnite into that category because it just came out of the scene, and obviously it's evolved into something monstrous. But every once in a while, you'll get these games like Fall Guys just came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I think it's free. Like I don't know what it is. It's very stupid. It's very minimalistic, but it's almost like they play it in between the real games because it's become an actual career, right? Like they play Call of Duty for 8 hours a day. I want to just jump onto this stupid game and dick around. It doesn't matter.
So what's crazy? Hold on. So what's crazy about this? Hold that thought. I've never heard of Fall Guys. You are obviously in this niche community that you're even familiar with something called Fall Guys. Let me just go over the last.
Wait. Let me. Hold on. I just want to clarify. Fall Guys. Is that where all the people are standing and like there's like things that come and try and knock them over the edge?
Ultimate knockout.
I mean, there's different stages of it, but Sean, yeah, you've captured it somewhat. There's a start and then there's an end with some obstacles in between.
Yeah, but it's like a bunch of people.
The bottom 10% get fired every
You know, the only reason I know that is because I saw Jeremy, the quartering, put something up on that.
So let me ask, why do you know about this thing? Did you play the game? Do you have a review?
You don't have to play a game anymore. You just watch it and fall asleep.
We're having a review right now.
It's one of those games that I would never play, but it's fun to watch.
Oh, so you've watched that game. Okay, so let me ask this. I'm going to go through just like he posts a video maybe once a week, twice a week.
Spoiler alert, Fritz won't know any of these
I'm just going to go. I don't know any of these. I know the all right, here we go. Fall Guys, we just said. Ghosts of Tsushima.
Yeah. Yep, I know that one.
That was a week ago. Paper Mario and the Origami Salami.
Wait, there's a new Paper Mario? Is that for Switch?
I love Paper Mario RPG, but the Origami Salami. Are you sure this is not a hentai list here?
Oh, I think maybe that's his like.
He's on the wrong channel.
Maybe that's how he's like. Maybe that's how he's naming it to like.
He's clicking the wrong buttons.
All right, here. Rocket League 2020.
Oh yeah, everyone knows Rocket League.
I don't know Rocket League.
I know you don't.
Jake
does.
Gex. You know GEX.
Yeah.
The Last. Oh, I've heard of this one. The Last of Us Part 2. All right, man. Okay.
Oh yeah, because that pissed off a lot.
All right,
of people.
2 more and then we're out. Because Avengers we already know about. Man Eater and Tekken 7. Kuma Madness. You know about this?
Tekken.
Yeah, everyone knows about Tekken, obviously, but I don't know about the other one.
But are you familiar with Tekken 7? This new one that's whatever this is.
All I know is I'm picking Hiachi, and that's all I know.
All right. All right, there we go.
You pick it.
Xbox or PlayStation or PC here, because I've gone through a revolution in my day, boys.
You pick Hayachi, and I'll pick the one that shoots the fucking lasers out of its eyes. And
all
I'll
right.
just
So the only systems I've ever owned, all right, is regular Nintendo.
Yeah.
And then I went right to original Xbox, and now I'm gonna get the next Xbox.
He has 360 right now.
All right, I have 360. All right, I'm still playing it, by the way.
You can't play it. I was at his house, and it doesn't even turn on.
You can still play it.
It makes noises.
You can still play it, and I play it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get this new Xbox. All right, that's coming out. All right, I'm gonna make my step. Every decade, I get a new system.
It's gonna be. You know what?
Where
what we
would
should
this
do?
rank? Where would this rank with like PlayStation?
What is
your take?
This is what we're gonna do.
I'm not interested in your opinion.
I want
to hear this guy.
We're gonna film Fritz trying to when
I'm
he
not
sets
interested
up,
in your opinion. I want to hear this guy.
When he sets up the new Xbox and seeing you try to navigate the menus, I'm not
gonna do any of that.
hilarious.
I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm gonna have Sean over to do that because he's gonna want to play it. I'm going to have Sean over, and he's going to want to play it, and I'll be like, Sean, you want to play or not? Set it up.
I guess Smashton, the question, PlayStation or Xbox this winter?
I think you're an Xbox guy.
Who, me?
You.
Yeah.
Or no, you're a PlayStation guy.
PlayStation guy. Had to be. I mean, so I've run the lineage here with gaming from down. The lineage of gaming was passed down from my father, and then his father.
Atari?
And then his so time began. I played something called Intellivision, which was right around the same time as Atari, which is hilarious. And then it was something that we always did together, him and I, was just to play the games or whatever on the weekends. So we had everything from regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
When I was there, I'm sorry, I got the studio. But it's not a Biggie song in here. But yeah, I migrated. I had Xbox for Halo, and then Halo died out for me, and then
I know it's always for me
ever since, man.
Still, the reach is still. I mean, outside of me being like the number one, Mario Kart.
Before we close out, here's the last question: favorite titles on Atari? Go.
Oh, I don't even know, like Galaga or something.
Galaga, okay.
Wow.
What else?
I didn't really play Atari very much.
You gotta say Pong.
In television, I sort of had the competitor.
Pitfall. Pitfall. Pitfall, Asteroids.
Asteroid was on. Did they have like the little snake game? Was that an Atari game?
Caterpillar, that was on your TI-83 Plus.
Yeah, right. That's right.
That was my TI-83.
All right, Brian, we're going to have you on the show. Everyone, thanks for joining us. Smashton.
Smashton Lee, about to get canceled on the next conference.
Like I tell everyone else, when you blow up and become a huge star, don't forget the little guys. This was your first ever show, so...
Hey, thanks, boys. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, man. We love it.
We got it.
Love you too, bud. Love you. Hey, go Bucks.
Hey, stay on, though. Don't leave.
By the way, Bucks won tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Celebrate.
Brian's trying to